Welcome back. It's another big report here for Breakfast Extra. Kogi State is once again in the spotlight as bandits' attacks continue to disrupt life in Egbe, Yagba West local government area. Recent killings have left communities devastated, with many residents fleeing their homes in fear. The violence carried out by heavily armed groups has deepened insecurity and shaken confidence in safety across the state. In response, the state government has stepped up security operations. The government is urging residents to cooperate with security agencies, provide intelligence, and resist being intimidated into silence. A News Central's correspondent, Balagbogbo, followed these developments, and he put together this report from during the week.
Egbe, a border town in Kogi's Yagba West, has long battled banditry. But on September the 10th, 2025, violence once again resurged, with armed gunmen suspected to be Fulani militias ambushed a police checkpoint, killing 3 officers in a brutal exchange of gunfire. Hours later, 2 vigilantes were murdered in a second attack. The loss of 5 security personnel in one day has deepened the mood across Okunland, a region plagued by kidnappings and robberies. Governor Ahmed Ododo condemned the attacks, describing them as inhumane and spearheading a robust state response. On September 11th, under the state-backed Operation Accord III, troops of the 12th Brigade of the Nigerian Army, alongside other security agencies, acting on credible intelligence, ambushed bandits in Ofere Forest near Ayetorugbede. Local voices highlight the toll as they say that the crisis is compounded by poor infrastructure.
And there's a connection between the road deterioration and the present situation we have in the Egbe axis. The tension is not calm. I have not been home for 2 years because of the stories, the feedback I'm getting from my hometown. The place is not safe.
We are still having problems. Like the day before yesterday, somebody was macheted along the maybe Poro Road.
Thank God now the security, they are trying, and we thank God things are improved now. We can move up and down, and we still go to farm, and other people are still going to work.
Security advisor Jerry Omadara, however, believes that the state is recording successes but highlights challenges.
A number of them have also been neutralized. Neutralized in the sense that we are not joking with it, but all these are not to the public, but we will continue as a state. The governor have given a directive to security agencies in Kogi. We are working, in synergy, facing security. It has political undertone, and I can give facts. If anybody wants it, I'll give facts why we have political undertone. We must not play with the life of our people.
The Egbe killings underscore the cost of banditry and the effect of insecurity on any community. The state government is, however, hoping it can end these attacks and return peace back to Egbe and the Yagba West local government environs. In Lokoja, for News Central, Balagbogbo.
And as the Taskforce intensifies operations, the big questions remain. How sustainable is this response? Can the circle of violence be broken without deeper community engagement and stronger governance? And what lessons does Kogi's experience hold for other states battling banditry? To help us unpack this, we're joined by Balagbogbo, correspondent with News Central, and Idris Meliki Abdul, Executive Director, Conscience for Human Rights and Conflict Resolution, Lokoja, Kogi State. Gentlemen, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
I see we only have
Good morning.
Good morning. We only have you for now, but
Yes.
we're going to be joined by our next guest eventually.
Yes. So, Mono, you see, your name, thank you for the report, because I get to get your name correctly. I keep saying Mana, so forgive me for every time I murdered your name. So, from your time on ground in Yagba West, what did you observe about, the level of destruction and the fear within the affected communities?
Well, I can tell you one thing, that the fear is palpable. You just heard Mr. Joel. He is a lecturer in Kogi State Polytechnic in Lokoja, the state capital, and he told us that he's not been to his village in the past 2 years just because of the concerns. And he attributed that to be as a result of bad roads, bad infrastructure. But, speaking with the state security advisor, I had a one-on-one interview with him, but because of the nature of the report, I can't really get all the details in. But some of the things he told me, he recognized that there were challenges, and even before now, he had to spend almost a month in Egbe coordinating with security operatives to ensure that peace and calm is restored. But like he told me in that interview, it is beyond just what the state government can do, because he said that security is everyone's responsibility. And in the build-up to the 2027 elections, he pointed out the fact that political actors are beginning to use the insecurity situation to score points for themselves. And he made mention of the senator representing that particular senatorial district, Senator Karini. And there's been this back and forth. There was a protest after that particular killing. Youths in Egbe came out to block the road. That particular road also connects to Kogi State, and they blocked the road. And from my interview with him, he was expecting that the senator would have called him, because the police officers, he had given orders to the security operatives not to attack the youths, but he was expecting that the senator would call him so that they could synergize on how they could restore peace and calm in the community. But according to reports, some monies were sent by the senator to the youths, and they were able to leave. And then after that, there was a press release attributing the peace and calms to just the senator alone. So it was sort of downplaying the efforts of the state government in ensuring that peace and calm was restored in the community. And he made reference to the fact that if that continues to play out, then we will continue to see insecurity. He also pointed to the fact that there were times where some of these bandits, they come out of Kogi State and then they come to, attack persons on the roads, those who are traveling, because of bad roads. And if you follow some of these kidnapping cases, the hotspot locations that they focus on are areas where there are not good roads. So it's always easy for them to prey on passengers who are traveling from one place to another. So that is why that place has become very, very important for some of these kidnappers. And of course, the military, they've been able to apprehend some of the bandits like Babangida Kachala. He's a notorious bandit. He has been apprehended. And from other reports, 7 of them have been apprehended. But the challenge now is when they come out of Kogi State, they perpetrate their evil acts, and then they go back into hiding into Kogi State. So there seems to be a missing link between the synergy between the two states that are surrounding each other. That's Kogi State on one hand, and then Kogi State. And he actually recalled a particular time where they had to pursue those bandits into Kogi State. And when they got to the border of Kogi State, the military there stopped them from gaining entrance into Kogi State. And he had to call the governor, Governor Usman Odoye Kogi State, who put a call through to the governor of Kogi State, who now allowed them to come in so that they could fish out the bandits. So these are some of the challenges that the state government is facing, despite the gains in apprehending some of these bandits.
Mm-hmm. Mona, I have a couple of questions, so I'm hoping that perhaps maybe you could answer in quick fire style. Now,
okay.
The activities of the bandits, where do they perpetrate them? Is it on the highways or within the communities?
I think it's in the highway. Now, from the facts that I've gathered, they are not really after the people in the communities. They just attack passengers who are traveling. Although, so from the residents in Egbe who are interviewed, they told me that inside the town itself, it is peaceful. But the suburbs, the surrounding areas around the town, that's where the problem is, because they happen to be hideouts.
So is the community, so Mona, is the community affected? Are they, is there insecurity? There's no insecurity, like you've just said, inside of these communities, but do they know where these bandits perhaps maybe hide out inside of these communities?
Yes, I think I do. From the interviews I conducted, I was told that some of these persons are Fulani headsmen. That was all I could get, and that they are the ones who are perpetrating this act, and it has prevented them from going out to farm, even though some persons say that they can now actually go out to farm. Even Mr. Joel, who I spoke to a few days ago, he made reference to the fact that he has farmlands and he's not been able to go there to farm. But these are some of the challenges. So I think it is just based on how safe one feels. So no matter what the government is doing, if I still don't feel like I am safe, I will not maybe go out to farm as a farmer. But if I feel safe, so it's more of like a personal perspective to how they feel they are safe.
So it's like a safe haven for them, these communities. They simply do their nefarious business outside and then they come back inside of Kwara State as safe haven for them. Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct, Martino. But I also want to point out that these bandits were actually after weapons. That was why they solely attacked the police officers and some of the vigilantes on the 10th of September, which was the actual day of the attack. So they were after the weapons of those military, of those security operatives rather. So that was why that attack was carried out. So they wanted to consolidate on the weapons that they had. And that was the only way they, that was why the military step in the following day to show that they go after some of these bandits. And of course, some of them were apprehended, but there's still more work to be done.
Okay. Well, so my actual question now is how it's affecting lives in these communities. If there, it's such a, it's the potpourri of issues here. First of all, you have the issue with the location of these bandits. Then you also have the fact that they're not actually operating inside of these communities, but using it as safe haven. Then there's also that handshake that should occur between the states, how they are able to communicate between the authorities of both states. So on that ground, what are these two states, Kogi and Kwara, doing to be able to eliminate the operations of these bandits together?
Yes, I think the cooperation so far has been amiable because of, how it affects the movements of goods and persons from those coming from, because you look at Kogi State is very central. If you look at the geographical map of Nigeria, if you want to go to the east, you have to leave Kogi State. If you want to go to the north, you have to come to Kogi State. If you look at states like Kogi State, they surround the western part of the state. So for the state of businesses to thrive, also we recall that Ilorin, the University of Ilorin is also there. There are a lot of persons who are traveling along that road. So there is need for synergy. But to tell you specifically how that synergy has improved, from what I was able to learn from my interview with Omodara, the state security advisor, he told me clearly that when Governor Usman Odo gave the call, they actually allowed them in to be able to fish out the bandits. And I can only hope that that continues to play out and they could find ways to actually solve this problem. But the problem seems to be the bad roads. If you deal with that, then you will have more people ply the road. And if more people are plying the roads, it will be fast movement. It will be very difficult for somebody to just kidnap or to capture somebody down the road. And if that can be done, according to the security advisor to the state government, he made reference that infrastructure is currently ongoing in Egbe. And they try all that they are trying to do to ensure that the road is safe and the road is powerful. But if you're coming from towards the area, the roads are messy. And if that can be done, then most definitely we can clamp down and put this menace to a failure. So there is still a whole lot more to be done. But it's all about trust. A lot of the residents do not trust the fact that they feel safe when they fly that road. I also went to the park here in Lokoja to speak to some of the drivers, and they told us that very early in the morning, if they pick up anything from 11, they are already in Park State. They are taking passengers from Lokoja to Park State. They can go 2 trips in a day. So if you leave very early in the morning, anything from 11, 12, you've already got into Park State, and then you're loading to bring back passengers. But some of those drivers, they don't even fly those roads anymore again. And they've taken to other destinations to be able to survive because of the business that they do. But the driver who I spoke with, in short, he landed in my presence, and then he came out of the vehicle that he drove all the way from Egbe to Lokoja, and I interviewed him. I spoke to some of the passengers, and they said, yes, things are getting better, but there is still that fear. The day before yesterday, at the time I found the report, someone was macheted, and a lot still needs to be looked into in terms of the insecurity in the area. But the driver categorically could confirm to me that people are now going out to farm because that place has a lot of agricultural activity going on.
Thank you so much, Mono, for joining and, giving us a breakdown of what happened. And, you're being courageous and going after and checking in this community. So thank you so much for joining and giving us the update, and be safe out there.
Please be safe, Mono. Thank you very much. Oh, Mono, I promised I was going to call you Moto Moto on air on account of your name. So there you have it. I kept my promise. Thank you very much, Moto Moto, for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, then.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye then. Thank you.
Bye.